Welcome back to The Double Take. I'm Ethan Mitchell.
And I'm Josiah Mitchell.
And I hope you haven't noticed how much of a hellscape our dating culture is.
I hope so as well, because it is a very dry, very toxic place.
It is, and that's why it's called a hellscape, because it is so difficult for people to date.
It really is.
And in our show today, we're going to dive into exactly why that is. Hopefully we can offer some solutions. And we're going to show you a video that is pretty sad.
Yeah, it might make you sad. It might bring a tear to your eye. And we hope that it makes you stop and think, because it is a big challenge to get out there, as I'm sure you've noticed. And so who better than this young lady explains it?
The video we want to show you today is about a girl named Alyssa, and she is just verbalizing a sentiment that is held by many women in our culture.
That's right. It's so many women that it has become a point of commiseration, where many of them will either comment on these videos or make videos of their own experience and just talk about how terrible dating has been for them.
It's been really hard. So let's watch that video from Alyssa.
This might be dramatic. I'm not saying that it's not. Is anyone else just tired of dating? I literally just sat in my car for 20 minutes crying because I'm so tired of pointless conversations and meaningless interactions with people that go absolutely nowhere. And by the way, no one has hurt my feelings. Nothing has happened to trigger this except for me just realizing, like, what is the point? Truly. Like, no one dates with intention and actually wants anything serious, and it's just like constant disappointment, and I'm just tired of having that negative energy in my life. But I also feel like I'm getting older, and it's like I have to put some effort into dating or I'm just gonna be alone forever. But now I'm just honestly getting to the point where I'm just gonna be the single aunt, and I think I'm okay with that.
Well, Alyssa, that's heartbreaking. That's a very sad video. Just sitting in your car and crying for 20 minutes about how miserable you are because of this dating scene and the situations that she's been in. That's very heartbreaking. And so, well, let's jump into why is this so heartbreaking, and why has this become a trend, like we said, for women to come together and kind of commiserate? Well, for number one, these women are tired of pointless interactions that don't lead anywhere. And this young lady specified that very clearly.
She talked about that. She talked about just these meaningless conversations that go nowhere. And that is something that is fleeting. That is something that women are not looking for. And honestly, that is something that guys do tend to look for, because guys can easily, like our guys in our generation are looking for a quick hookup, which is what the dating apps provide.
That's right.
And anyway,
so it's sad to hear her just absolutely miserable and suffering because of this, because she is looking for connection. She's looking for love. She's looking for passion that lasts. And as a female, ladies, we're talking to you. We know that you are more emotional and want that connection. Well, as males, we're a whole lot less about the connection and more about the physical side of it. And so it's really sad to see women draw the short straw in our culture, because men, it is a lot easier to use a woman and move on. And women, you feel that loss and you feel that being used. And so there is no passion. There's a huge lack of drive, and there's a lack of connection. And so let's figure out why. Well, for number one, young women from a very young age, young ladies, we're talking to you, you're told that being strong, independent, and financially free and successful is fulfilling and long-term.
And liberating.
That's right. That's right. It's liberating. You no longer have the responsibility of being a wife, of having a house, of having children. You don't need that responsibility. You should be financially free. You should date men however you want. You should do this, that, and the other, when really that goes up in smoke.
It does.
And it's not long lasting. And so, young ladies, you're having this put on you as you should want this. When really you're looking for that connection.
Right, and you're told by our culture to follow your dreams, but your culture doesn't explicitly say, no, these are your dreams. Oh, you want to be a wife and mom? No. That's the patriarchy, remember? That's something that you don't want. That's oppressive.
Yeah.
No, you want to go work all your life.
Yeah.
You want to be financially stable. You want these things, and that's not lasting. And that's something that feminism, specifically the rise of, what is it, third wave feminism?
Yeah.
I forget all the waves. That's something that they preached. They said, well, that lady said that, women need men like a fish needs a bicycle? That is just terrible.
Really, a lot of people attribute that to Gloria Steinem when really she got it from an earlier feminist, but still she popularized the phrase, and Gloria Steinem herself ended up getting married and having a husband. And
she got married.
And as many people say, I guess that fish needed a bicycle.
I guess so. She was tired of being alone. And what's sad about this feminism is that there are countless testimonies of women in their 50s and early 60s who are not married, have no kids, have plenty of money, have been super uber successful. They were CEOs, they were business starters, they were all these things, and they are unfulfilled. And they said, I fully bought into feminism when I was young, and I'm reaping the consequences, because feminism does have a lot of consequences, and it makes a lot of people lonely at the end of their lives, because they make quick decisions and they listen to the culture, and then they're left lonely and empty.
That's right. And so contrast that, young ladies, contrast what you've been told with young men, what you have been told, which is that women bring a lot of baggage, that they will take your money and leave, which is, we see that with no-fault divorce.
Right.
Men are a lot more slow to get married because they have this fear of, well, say we build this life together and she doesn't love me anymore, she's just going to take half and leave and then go marry someone else.
Right.
So men are slow to do that because the culture says, hey, there's a good chance you're going to get divorced. There's a huge divorce rate. Like, it's like 75%
Right.
you're going to get divorced.
And what's sad too is it's not that message isn't just preached by people that we don't want to listen to. It's preached by people like Andrew Tate.
That's right.
Like, he was really popular back in the day. I hope nobody listens to him anymore. But young men loved what he had to say because he was speaking to them, and he was like, no, you should be a man. You should grow up. You should sleep with a lot of women, have a lot of money, and you should be super ripped, because that's what manhood is.
That's what being a man is about. Abuse women and leave them. Hit the gym and feel good about yourself. Be rich and just spend all your money on this, that, and the other. And that's not satisfying either, fellas.
That's
not at all.
That's fleeting. Whenever you embrace manhood, you embrace responsibility, which is something that marriage provides, especially when you have kids. And it is good for young men to accept responsibility. We see a lot of fatherlessness because young men, when they get married, or men when they have kids, they don't want the responsibility of raising kids, so they run. And that is not manliness. That is a rejection of masculinity, which is very, very sad. And it's also an embrace of the vices. And
That's
that
right.
there
Yeah,
is
yeah.
something that gets young men all the time, vices. And what's more sad is that young men are so quick to not jump into a relationship because they can get all the quick and easy sex that they want on the internet and online.
That's right.
And on these quick apps. People, it's so sad. The video we watched earlier, all in the comments, there's these women just bemoaning the fact that dating is so hard.
It's shallow.
Yeah, and there's these women that are 35, 36 years old, and they said, I'm sick of dating as well. I've tried. I've put myself out there. I've done all these things. And these people keep saying cliches like, it'll come when you least expect it. I'm 36. I'm not expecting it, but I'm hoping for it. And you got these women that are so lonely, and it's really, really sad.
It is.
But the internet has enabled men to get everything they need physically in a quick, satisfying way, which is actually not satisfying.
Not at all.
They can get it quickly, and so they don't settle for something long term because they feel like they would be settling, when actually it is good for men and women to get together, to get married, to have kids, and to raise a family. That's a really good thing because
That's
it
right.
offers stability it offers security for the woman and stability for the man, because young men are often really wild when they're younger. They got a lot of energy, a lot of things going on, and when they get married, they settle down. And it's good because it strengthens them. It gives them a foundation and a rock, and it's good for that to happen. And you really can't find a wife unless you actually like somebody and want to ask them out, and you go on a few dates.
That's right. And as we see in our culture, it's really the opposites that are emphasized. For women, it's, hey, don't worry about trying to find the right guy. Just worry about bettering yourself and being successful. And for men, it's, hey, don't settle for one girl. Get as many as you want. And so the opposite ideas are told, and it just creates confusion because in reality, it leaves women emotionally abused and physically used.
Right.
And it leaves men with distrust and without commitment. And so when a man and a woman can commit to each other, and then once they are married, have sexual relations as is intended, with one day the hope of having children, not only will the connection be so deep, but the connection will last.
It will last.
It will last, and it will be fulfilling and satisfying. Not ultimately satisfying, because it is God alone who can satisfy, but as far as physical relationship here on earth, marriage and children and raising a family together is the closest thing to satisfactory that you will be able to achieve.
Outside of a relationship with God.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
And here's one thing. People set very high standards for a partner. It's really good to have high standards, but if you don't hold yourself to that high standard, then you won't find anybody that is just top tier. Because if you say you're a female and you're looking for a guy who's 6'4", he's trust fund guy, he's got plenty of money, he's blonde hair, blue eyes, there's very few guys like that.
Yeah.
And what makes you think you're going to find a guy like that? Are you super rare? Are you pursuing virtues? Are you pursuing things that make you a top tier woman? And if not, why not? You know, we automatically live in a culture where we grew up with the internet. We grew up with phones. And so face-to-face connection is already way down. And so if you're establishing quick and easy relationships over the phone, you won't find someone face-to-face. And if you are going out, kudos. If you're going out to meet people, that's a great thing.
Yeah.
Keep that up. And don't be discouraged. I know it is discouraging. It's very discouraging, especially if you've been in 3 or 4 relationships and nothing seems to work out. You start to doubt yourself. You start to think, there's probably a problem with me. And sometimes that can be a clarifying thought. What is going on with me? And if there is something there that maybe you're a narcissist, maybe you have things going on in your life that people are like, whoa, you need to work on yourself. Okay, so work on yourself. But don't get discouraged and think that I'm just the problem. I need to stop dating and spare someone else. No.
That's right.
Get out there.
And what we really want to hammer home is, girls, don't just give yourself away to a guy who says that he loves you. You know, it's like that old adage that says, you know, guys give love to get sex, and girls give sex to get love. And so women, don't be giving yourself away to every guy that comes along. And guys, stop running through women. That is so destructive, not only to these women who are left emotionally abused and physically used, like we said, but you are left without commitment, and it takes a piece of your soul. And so, fellas, don't look at women as something to be used, and women, don't look at men as something horrible, something just emotionally abusive, because there are men that are men of character and that are strong. And, you know, at the risk of being cliche, wait for these men. Wait for a man to come along. And men, if you are a man of good character, be on the lookout for a woman of good character. And when one comes along, talk to her. That's the big thing. Don't text her. Don't wait to DM her. Don't ask your friend to ask her if she's interested and go back and forth. Just walk up, say hey, just ask her out. That's okay.
That's right.
That's all right. Yeah, get off these apps and go meet somebody. Go to church.
You meet a lot of wonderful young people at church.
That's right. That's really good. And so hopefully this makes sense, because we really care a lot about this subject. We care a lot about girls who are being emotionally abused. We care a lot about young men who don't know how to interact with women beyond the physical.
And they're falling into the traps that you should not look for a long-term marriage or a long-term relationship, all right? Because relationships should lead to marriage. A healthy relationship should lead to marriage.
That's right. And so if you are not dating with marriage as the end goal, then you are dating just to get hurt. And so date with marriage as the end goal. Wait to have sexual relations until after marriage, and your marriage is already statistically going to be so much stronger, last so much longer, and be so much more fulfilling and satisfactory. And so, you know,
I mean, if you're still finding the dating scene very difficult, very hard, which it is, and you just cannot figure that out, talk to the Lord about it.
That's right.
Talk to God.
Start praying.
Yeah, because He is always waiting to have a relationship with you because he loves you.
That's right.
And so
he is the one who will never leave and never forsake, as he said.
Mm-hmm. So that'll do it for us today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hey, take heart, take courage, and as always, be good.